Hola guys, how are you? Good day to my subscribers over here on YouTube, out there at Facebook, and also on TikTok. Guys, in this vlog or episode, I'd like to talk about the Duke Blue Devils curse in NBA basketball cards. Let's talk about that. But before that, I'd like to invite you to please follow me on Instagram. That would be at TimDuncan21 _ card collector. And also please follow us over at Facebook at our off-centered page. That is my podcast group. We always do podcasts every Friday nights Philippine time at 9 p.m. We will be interviewing known personalities in the hobby, both locally and abroad, right? Or in the international field as we speak. So there you go. So let's discuss about the Duke Blue Devils curse in basketball cards. So let's go. So, what is the Duke Blue Devils curse? As we all know, one of the major rivalries in college hoops or college basketball in the US is actually the Duke Blue Devils versus the North Carolina Tar Heels. Alright? Marami sa mga tao nangongolekta ng mga Duke Blue Devils players here and abroad. But haven't you noticed that there is such a thing as a Duke curse? Kasi it started off when Bobby Hurley injured himself in a freak accident where I think his SUV was driving across the highway and another SUV hit him, and he was not wearing a seatbelt, so he got thrown away. So malaki ang naging injuries ni Bobby Hurley. He never was the same. And also when the Jay Williams, the number 2 pick in the 2002 to 2003 draft, was involved in a freak accident as well, and that in a motorcycle accident, and he never came back to the NBA. So yung dalawang yun pa lang, ang laki ng nangyari, ang laki ng impact nun sa NBA moving forward, no? Bobby Hurley was supposed to be the next John Stockton, as I understand it correctly. He won championships with Mike Krzyzewski, who is the Duke coach for a long time. Mike Krzyzewski or Coach K developed a lot of good players for Duke who went to the NBA, being dubbed as one of the best big things, no? The first one that I remember was actually Christian Laettner, and the second one would be actually Grant Hill, no? But Christian Laettner, who never got injured, no? But he never was the good player that he was supposed to be. So his cards never really went up the hill. So his cards went up and then went down. Danny Ferry is one of those players as well, whose cards already went up and then went down, tumbling down again, when they saw the fans saw that he wasn't that player to be collected upon. So maraming mga Duke players na talagang hindi naman talagang nag-start off with a high upside, then just went down. Bobby Hurley is one of them who got injured. Everything just went down. His cards went down. Jay Williams is one of them. And also, no, I'll name a few. Grant Hill is one of them. Grant Hill's autographics, which I have, I think it was selling for 35,000 pesos at a certain point, his first autographics. Now, I'm not sure, but I don't think it sells for even at a $150 amount nowadays. All right, maybe it's $100. I'm not mistaken, but it's not reaching $700 compared to when it first came out. All right. So yung iba pang mga players na pwede natin banggitin dyan would be Carlos Boozer. All right. Meron pang Jabari Parker, who was the second pick overall. during the 2014 and 15 draft next to Andrew Wiggins. Na-injured din si Jabari Parker, that was never the same. Elton Brand was even the number one pick during the 1999 to 2000 season and was the co-rookie of the year together with Steve Francis, but he never went up anymore when his cards were at that level na hindi na natin ma-reach, no? But marami pa. Marvin Bagley, Shane Battier even won a championship with the Miami Heat, but he never had a following. So there's this, we could mention JJ Redick as well, who was touted as the next big thing over at Duke. Na kasabayan pa ni Adam Morrison, those two were both shooters in the 2006 to 2007 draft, but his cards never really went up. Alright, so marami. Si Grant Hill, sayang yun, because he was supposed to be the next Jordan, but injuries came about, and he was never the same, so his cards also tapered. Although sa lahat ng mga Duke players na talagang nakokolekta na established na, I'm talking about established players, no, is actually Grant Hill. No, there is a huge following for Grant Hill as we speak right now, but his cards aren't that expensive, but at least someone or a group is buying them. A group of collectors would be buying them. So other players now that you should question is actually Jason Tatum, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, and also, of course, the number one pick overall this year, who is Paolo Banchero. So, I'm not, in other words, no, I'd like to talk about it in my own opinion. It's that I'm not a real believer of the players that are coming out of Duke. All right, so I did buy a Kyrie Irving autograph, but bumaba na rin eh. Malaki na rin ang binaba niya. It really went down hard. I bought it at, I think at about, let's say at $140. I bought it at $440. Yung autograph card ko ni Kyrie Irving. It's a Threads rookie card, on card. Now it's selling for about, I think about below $100, if I'm not mistaken, which is not good because actually Kyrie Irving won a championship with Cleveland, but apparently his attitude towards the game, his attitude towards whatever, which is kind of quote-unquote weird. It falls under the weird category of an individual or a human being. It has affected his cards, alright? It wasn't the same as his compared to his rookie year, even though he really won a championship for the Cleveland Cavaliers during LeBron's time. And then there's this also the concept of another player who was supposed to be the next big thing, which is actually Jason Tatum. All right, Jason Tatum is an anomaly for me. I have a Jason Tatum collection. I have a few of his cards, but I'm not a believer. I got them cheap, right? But the reason why I am not a believer of Jason Tatum is that because of the Duke curse, and also, of course, Zion Williamson. Brandon Ingram, I have a few of his cards as well, but I was not a big fan of his because of the Duke curse. In other words, I am a little bit of a pessimist or a believer of a saying or an adage that there is such a thing as a Duke curse. Alright? Hindi natin sigurado kung totoo or hindi, but I'd like to be cautious about it. Even though it's just a maybe it's just a coincidence that these players never really had a following or got injured during their stint in the NBA. So, hindi ko masabi. When it comes to cards, I wouldn't put my money on them. As you know, cards are also speculative, and also it depends, the performance, the cards values also depend on the performance of the athlete. Alright? So, iba ang cards. So, sa NBA, sa basketball world, there is a Duke curse, but because there is a Duke curse there, it also affects the hobby. Alright? Wala tayong magagawa rin. It is what it is. Now, another anomaly would be Zion Williamson. When Zion Williamson got injured during his first year, I thought to myself, is the Duke curse really real? When Jason Tatum lost against the Golden State Warriors a year ago, I actually thought that I was actually not thought, but I was actually rooting for the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum because I wanted Jason Tatum to really break the curse, the Duke curse for basketball, especially for NBA cards. All right, but apparently he did not win the championship. So if you didn't win a championship, your cards won't go up. All right, so his cards remain stagnant. And I was thinking to myself, totoo nga kaya ang Duke curse? That's my problem. That's what I was thinking. So I never was into the Duke since the days of since I bought my last expensive Duke card, which is who is actually Kyrie Irving. All right, I bought that for about $140. All right, so papakita ko na rin sa inyo yung mga cards ko ng yung dalawang na-injure na player during their stint in the NBA who never came back. They were never the same anymore. This is my press pass Bobby Hurley. Okay, he's wearing a Duke uniform here. And also may rookie card auto of Jay Williams. Kung alam niyo lang kung gaano mahal ito dati, kung gaano ito kamahal binebenta rito sa Pilipinas dati. It was very expensive. I think these cards from Sweet Shot would reach about 3,000 to 5,000 pesos during its rookie when it was released during the rookie year of Jay Williams. So imagine that. This is from Sweet Shot, by the way. Sweet Shot Upper Deck 2002 to 2003. Alright? So, yan yung yun ang dapat yung tingnan ngayon. If yung mga sinasabi ng mga tao na Duke curse, they named it as the Duke curse. If it's true or not, you have to be careful when you pick a player. Tandaan niyo, also luck is also involved in determining if your cards would actually go up. No, wala naman makakapagsabi na si Michael Jordan would be Michael Jordan after his injury during the 1984 season. So bumaba rin naman ang mga rookie cards. Well, ang rookie card ni Michael Jordan, yung Star XRC niya, at saka yung Fleer 86-87. So it doesn't really follow that there is a curse, but it doesn't stop us. It should not stop us from not being cautious. That's what I'm trying to say. So ako sa akin, naniniwala ako doon, to be honest with you. That's why I am still yet to buy myself a Zion Williams autograph RC, kasi mahal. But if it was cheap, I would have bought one to take the risk or to take the gamble. But right now, medyo mataas ang cards ni Zion Williamson up until now, even though he didn't play for about 2 years or so. Alright, so it is what it is. So ako ngayon hindi pa rin ako bumibili. It's up to you if you want to believe in the Duke curse or not. So if you don't believe in the Duke curse, you could actually buy the players from Duke at an expensive rate. It's up to you. So I'm not blaming you to if you don't believe in me, because you are fans of the Duke Blue Devils. All right, so they have pretty much good colors, to be honest with you. It's colored blue. In the Philippines, we have the LaSalle and Ateneo rivalry. In the US, I think it's North Carolina versus Duke. So it is what it is. Talagang ganon, no? So makakabenta sila ng mga cards nila. The manufacturers would actually continue to do their cards, to make their cards and have them signed, because there is a following for Duke players in the NBA. Even though merong mga followers ang may mga collectors ang Duke University players, but still they're not that expensive, especially the old ones. I'm not talking about Zion Williamson. I'm talking about the other players. Hindi na talaga mataas, even though they won the Rookie of the Year, they won championships, which is a bothering thing. Siguro until the fact that someone really plays well, at saka hindi yung kuno ng mga sinasabi like Kyrie Irving, maybe the Duke curse would be lifted. All right, I hope so, for our sakes. Okay, so it's up to you if you want to believe in the Duke curse or not. Ako, personally, I do. I'm very, very cautious when it comes to Duke University players. Alright, so there you go. Please do subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to do that. And have a nice weekend. I'm doing this on a Sunday, so I'm saying have a nice weekend to you guys. So again, please keep safe and God bless. Thank you.